so bright out here, but what is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today starts day one of fabrication on the 17 STI. I think the goal for today is to get the radiator and the intercooler worked out and hang out with Bear. Every time he sees the reflection off the camera, he like tries to like dig at the ground. He's losing his mind. Bear! We've pulled off the front end on the STI already. Dude, it is like so bright, it's blinding. So we have the front core support, the bumper off, all that. We've got the intercooler core and the radiator core in there. I can't see anything out here. Let me show you guys that stuff because it's pretty beefy. So these are the cores up here that we're gonna be using. Kyle, what's the thickness on the intercooler core? 4 inch? 4.5, sick. So we have a 4.5 intercooler core here. Kyle's gonna do some black magic wizardry on this one and then our radiator core up here. So the goal for today is to get both of these fit up, I believe, into the chassis of the car. Kyle's doing some modification up there right now that'll go show you guys, but this is going to be gnarly. So originally I was like, everyone was telling me to get like an ETS core or something like that. This will be a lot better for what we're doing. A, it'll be like specific to our application. B, it'll be a perfect fit for when Kyle works his magic on it. Same with the radiator. I've seen people use like BRZ, FRS, GT86 radiators in these swaps, but the EGs do tend to have a cooling issue. So having something like this in there is just gonna be so much more efficient and it's just gonna overall be better for the car. So already getting to town cutting things. Kyle's doing his wizardry over here that I completely don't understand because anything fabrication related is completely out of this world for me. Basic math is what I can do, but like all the advanced stuff like this of angles and craziness that you do is just, I don't,
gotcha.
Throwing brooms already that I don't understand. But let me show you guys kind of what's going on here. And I'll let Kyle explain the game plan of what exactly is gonna be going on because I don't fully understand. I have an idea, but not 100%. So already started going through here and making cuts. I showed you guys the cores for both of these. I'll let you explain what's going on here because you have the game plan.
So basically, since we're extremely limited on forward space and where the factory radiator goes is clearly not gonna work, we have to cut an opening that's roughly about 28 inches wide to fit the radiator core with the end tanks on it. And then it's got to sit where it wasn't meant to sit, so we have to open all this up and then still have room for fans behind it and then the 4.5 inch core in front of it.
Are you doing anything with this down here, or are you just leaving it?
I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm gonna see how tall we can get the radiator.
Yeah.
If it's not tall enough and I feel like it's gonna have an issue with cooling and we can get the extra inch or 1.25 inches out of the height of a core, then it might be worth cutting that out and welding a flat plate into it.
For sure, for sure. Whatever going by whatever you say, because I have no idea. So I'm just gonna be here. I'm gonna be helping out where I can, and pretty much just recording, filming, hanging out, being support.
Yeah, definitely.
Where I can. So let's let Kyle do his thing and see how this thing turns out for today. So radiator's coming along. Kyle's already got it cut to size. He's doing the end tanks for him right now. We got one of them welded up back over here. He's doing the other end tank now. It looks crazy good. He's gonna be doing a dual pass setup on this. So the way it was explained to me is one of the end caps will have a block off plate right in the middle of it. So it forces all of the coolant to flow through one side and then goes down to the other side from inlet to outlet. So essentially, inlet and outlet are going to be on both or on the same side of the radiator. So if we come over here to the curve, we can flip the coolant housing around 180 degrees right here. So that way it faces that way. What up, Bear? That way this faces the opposite way. So we have one port here and the other port flipped. So that way we have both ports on the same side of the radiator. This has all been cut. We test fitted it. It fits very snugly in there in a very good way. It's coming along. It is coming along. For anyone who's curious on like this fab stuff, it's an art. It takes some time to build this stuff, measure, make sure everything like fits properly and perfectly, but the end result's gonna be totally worth it. So instead of just trying to buy radiators and intercoolers and try to make them fit the best they can, whereas with this, it's just gonna be perfect fitment in the car. Like the bends and everything are just, they're so crisp and ideal. They're perfect. So radiator's still in progress, but it's coming along. We have one of the end tanks, or Kyle has one of the end tanks done over here. I shouldn't say we because I'm just here for moral support, but it's gonna be awesome. So the way the radiator is gonna bolt in, it's gonna bolt in down to these two stock holes here that are already threaded where the original core support used to go. And then the intercooler and the radiator are gonna be bolted together. And then the intercooler is also gonna be utilizing the stock frame rail holes right here. So this is our, like, I'm pumped for this. So both, like I said earlier, both inlet and outlet are going to be on this side of the radiator. We are going to pull this crossover tube and do the radiator filler, the cap for it over here on this side. So that way it's just going to have a small tiny coupler that goes from the crossover to the radiator itself. But while Kyle continues to go on this, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to drain the power steering reservoir over here, get it off of the pump right there, just so that way, because this line obviously has to move for turbo placement where the exhaust is going to end up routing. This one's going to have to also, but I mean, some power steering fluid is going to pee out. I'm going to try my best to try to contain it as much as possible. So let me get this drained. Kyle's going to keep going on that, making this piece of just pure art right here. Like, look at this. Like, you can't tell me that doesn't look absolutely beautiful. So this is what we're talking about with the dual passage. So inlet will be on one side, outlet will be on the other side. And then this plate right here in the middle just divides it. So that way, obviously, coolant just isn't entering and going straight down and leaving the radiator. It's actually going through the radiator and doing its job. So figured I'd show you guys that before it gets welded on, and you won't be able to see it anymore, but cool thing to do. Check this out, dude. This thing is still like scorching hot, but look at the just pure beauty in all of that. This thing is killer. It's gonna fit, it fits, well, when we just put it in there, it fit absolutely perfect. It's gonna fit even better now. Dude, I'm pumped for this. Dude, this thing feels like a sauna. I can just feel the heat radiating off of this thing. This thing is nuts. This is the stick they used to weld it all on?
Yeah, so pretty much one of these makes up one of this.
Really?
Yeah, so I try to go from start to finish without stopping. It takes about the whole, it's about 3 feet.
Jeez. Dude, that's nuts. That looks so good though. All right, so now that this guy's welded up, what's next, Kyle?
I'm gonna put the caps on the top and bottom and build a mount for the bottom.
Sick. This thing looks so good. This looks better than any one you could buy. So Kyle's got the bracket made up down here that he was just doing, getting everything test fitted right now. It is so, dude, even though it's just a radiator, it looks so good in there. This thing's gonna look so gnarly by the time Kyle's completely done with it. So he's doing the small bracket down here that's gonna mount the radiator to the lower core support. Dude, I don't know, this just makes me so happy right now as he's knocking all this stuff out. It's a crazy tight fit, but everything looks so good, like. That looks absolutely insane. So while he's been doing all like the cool, creative, awesome stuff, I was over here, I just masked up some of the smaller stuff up in the engine to avoid getting any sparks or dust in there. Got the power steering line off, so that way when the turbo gets mocked up, I just have it dripping in that bucket right now to get like all of the fluid out of there. So that way, as he's working in here, it's not gonna be like leaking fluid out of the rack or anything like that. So, dude, this thing's looking killer. It looks so massive.
Yeah.
How deep is the core on it? 2 inch?
It's a 3-inch thick core.
Ooh, it's a big boy radiator right there. I'm all about it. You guys, this thing is looking, I'm already like crazy excited for what I'm about to show you guys, but radiator is mocked up, mounted up right now, and tanks are welded on. We're mocking up the intercooler core right now, and this thing is huge. This thing is so much bigger than what I thought it was going to be. So that's what we're looking at right now. It looks like we're gonna have pretty solid clearance. We have 17 inches from the bottom of the headlight to where the splitter actually sits, so we're good clearance-wise there. I think we're about to double check forward clearance. But that looks so good. I am so excited for that. So radiator is bolted up to the lower core support where I showed you guys earlier. Kyle put the bracket on there. It's absolutely perfect. This, what do you call it? It's just like an end piece or an end cap. So that'll end up going on here soon, but just seeing that, dude, that looks so nut. We'll end up checking clearance. We'll see if it's all good there. If so, I think at that point we're like full send on this thing, but that's a beefy core. 4.5-inch core. That should get the job done right there. That should get the job done, no problem. So let us mess with this for a little bit. I'm gonna throw it back on a time lapse just because I'm here for moral support, and I'm just kind of helping out where I can, and B, I'm gonna get some more B-roll too. So let's make an intercooler. So here's the intercooler with the core or the end tanks tacked up on it right now. This thing looks insane. It's a 4.5-inch core with some gnarly looking end tanks on it. You gotta have like such good math and geometry skills to be able to do all this stuff like so precisely. Oh man, that thing does scream. You are not kidding, that thing does scream. So this thing's coming out insane. So I am gonna have to trim the bumper a little bit, no big deal. When I come back down, I'll bring a Dremel, trim it up a little bit, but bro, 4.5-inch core, a 3-inch radiator, and we still have decent clearance between the engine and where the radiator sits. Like the radiator sits in here so tightly, it's nuts. So we have our end caps welded up onto the top of this. We have to wait on doing the inlet and the outlet until the fittings come in, but that's no big deal. It's not gonna stop us from being able to do like everything else. The new DC alternator bracket for the 05 STI showed up today, so I can get that in that cart tomorrow and bring down the stock alternator so we can get that mounted up in here for location and fitment purposes and everything like that. But this thing is coming along beautifully, you guys. Like, I am thoroughly impressed with this. Dude, this thing's gonna be fucking nuts. This car is going to be scary. So I think next up is permanently welding all of this stuff up. They're cutting some pipes right now, I believe, for the exhaust manifold. Not 100% on that. I don't think this top plate is, oh no, top plate tacked in. That's part of the intercooler. What am I saying? So I think next up is welding the intercooler fully and then going from there. Yo, this thing is gnarly, you guys. So 4.5-inch core. Kyle did it like black magic wizardry here. I don't know how any of this happened. There's some like geometry, some measuring, some crazy welding. We got some like sick brackets back there. Here's one thing that I've noticed about a lot of Subaru front mount intercoolers is not all of them just have brackets that go from the intercooler to the actual crash beam. Like a lot of them use spacers to space it out a little bit. Much happy with this in any like off-the-shelf unit. We have like solid clearance between the radiator and the intercooler core itself. Like this thing came out incredibly gnarly. This is so much better than you could buy anything off the shelf. So I'm like extremely happy with this. Radiator came out beautifully. Intercooler came out beautifully. We're talking about there's still gonna be a couple brackets that connect these two pieces together, but just the sheer craftsmanship and quality of all this stuff is insane. Absolutely insane. So that's about the extent of what we're doing today. I don't know if this video is gonna be like a 2-day endeavor or if I'm gonna split this up from day to day to day. So I'm gonna edit all this first. I'm not gonna do an outro quite yet because we don't exactly know, but I'm gonna end it here for now. If we continue back up and there's more fabrication, the video is gonna keep going. If not, we're gonna end the video. I don't know. I'll talk to you in a sec. So it's a couple days in the future. Nothing has happened with the exception of us getting the bumper test fit onto the car, and the bumper still clears the intercooler and the radiator combo on the car. Matt, I can see you creeping up on the top of the stairs. So the bumper clears both the radiator and the intercooler, which is one thing that I wanted to keep because I don't want people to know when the car is driving that it's swapped, obviously. The hood still closes perfectly, bumper still goes on, all the body panels up at the front of the car fit perfectly, and no one will know. So we were able to achieve that. Now we're waiting for material to come in, so that way we can do the exhaust manifold, we can do the intake manifold, the up pipe, the down pipe, all the stuff to get the turbo mounted. So it's going to probably be a couple days before you guys get another fabrication style video, but it's not the end of the world, I promise. I've got another engine build going on up at the mod garage. I may or may not film that one, I don't quite know yet. That one, the short block in that one's totally fine, so that one should be an easy swap over. We're just going to a built block, full bolt-ons. Dude's gonna go make some crazy power with that one. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you like the video, you know what to do, which I suspect that you do because it's fabrication stuff and everybody likes that. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit your boy up one of these corners. No idea what are you doing? Is that a spider?
Gah!
Is that a spider? Evacuate him from the premises. If you guys are not already subscribed to the channel, hit your boy up one of these corners. No idea which one it'll be in quite yet. And with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.